absolutely. But enough of that, enough of that. Because we're not in the post-apocalypse yet. We're merely at the
No,
apocalypse. This movie that we're
yeah,
covering is set in the post-apocalypse, would you say, Baron?
post-apocalypse.
It's your
I
show.
would say it's
Please
definitely.
take it from here.
I would say it's definitely the post-apocalypse. So the film that we are reviewing this evening, which we won't go too deep into because it hasn't yet been released, is a
Mhm.
film called Silent Zone. It is not coming to cinemas in Australia, but it will be available on DVD and digital from March 12th. It's called Silent Zone. It is a post-apocalypse. It's a zombie film. So it does kind of fit our remit as a horror film, given that it's got a horror creature in it. But I feel it's a bit more of an action film than a horror film. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but yeah,
concur.
definitely post-apocalypse. Definitely zombies are definitely a big part of it. Fast zombies and strong zombies in this one, but easily killed.
And the smartest I've ever seen. I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
seen
smart
that
zombie.
Batista, Zack Snyder movie. I haven't seen that one. But like the leader and such, no, 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 because they plan. They're a
Mm,
tribe, they're a pack. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
They
that
communicate.
was they communicate absolutely. I'm just looking for the name of the person that we need to thank
So it's
as well. Thank you.
Publicity,
Hmm.
and you're thinking of Peter Walkden,
Yes.
is
Thank
the
you, sir.
gentleman that gave us this. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Greatly appreciated.
I'm Gene, he's Scott, just for
Yes,
clarification.
that's
Mr.
right.
Popcorn Baron. Yeah.
Yes.
Very much
Uh,
appreciate. Very much appreciate. This one
yeah,
fits the
yeah,
bill for our menu. Yes, for our card,
yeah.
certainly. Thank you. Yeah.
I reach out with more if you want.
Yeah.
Happy to have a look. So okay, so Mr. Popcorn, what's your favorite zombie film of all time?
Good question. My favorite, is that the operative term? Yeah,
Yeah,
the operative word.
yeah. Well, your
Uh,
favorite or the best, your dealer's choice.
can I do both?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. Because I would say probably the best. I will have to say that I haven't seen the Italian originals. There's
Ah,
Zombie, White Zombie. I haven't
yeah.
seen those. But so in my experience, I'm going to put the day, no, no, what is it called? The Dead trilogy.
Yep.
When you have the first three, not the next six. Sorry, the next three. Yeah, of Romero's trilogy. Yes, we have Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead,
Yep.
and Day of the Dead. Yes, I would say they're the best. I think it's purely subjective between one and two. Which
Mm.
one's the best, night or day? Just depends what type of cinema you dig. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
But the favorites are the 28 later films.
Ah, okay. 28
Yeah,
days, 28 weeks.
28 weeks and 28 years is coming. Yes, we will be
Coming
covering
soon.
the fuck out of that one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I have seen Weeks again recently in a rewatch, so for the first time in 15 plus years, like a lot of movies of late.
Does it hold
Uh,
up?
yes, very much so. Very much so. Yeah. Yeah. Robert Carlyle is still terrifying.
Always, always terrifying.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it because however you're thinking, what angle you go down, he's still terrifying. It's Robert Carlyle. But he has the softness and his vulnerability. This movie is tragic, just like 28 Days Later. I need to go back and
Yeah.
rewatch that to decide if that is
Yeah,
the best one. It probably is. They're
I
my
might watch them again
favorite.
myself.
They're my favorite. You got Danny
Okay.
Boyle. What's the guy who did Civil War? And then Alex Garland. Alex Garland.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What about you, Baron? What is your favorite and what do you consider the best? Not perfect, that's
I'll
another question, just
I
best.
will go from best to favorite. So the
Okay.
best, Dawn of the Dead. I have a first edition hardcover with the dust jacket of Dawn of the Dead from America.
So is that by George A. Romero, a novelization?
Yep, George Romero and Susanna Sparrow.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, it's a novelization. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
cool. I like that a lot. That's
So
fantastic.
I enjoyed Night of the Living Dead, but I
Okay.
think that Dawn, in my opinion, Dawn is a more superior film.
Why so? Because I think it's stylistic difference, that's it.
I like the man is the monster themes of Dawn of
Okay.
the Dead over
Okay.
the just the monster.
Yeah, because the night is, of course, it's an alien invasion, basically, which
More or less,
infests,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
certain people. There is a lot of racial stuff in the film, but I don't necessarily
Mhm.
think it's spelled out in the plot until you get to the very end, and it's hard to argue.
Yeah.
Which makes it very interesting, makes it a very interesting timepiece, time capsule, that film, which it very
Oh, for
much
sure.
is. Yeah.
For sure.
But you are probably right that Dawn is the best out of those three. What do you have you seen
Mm.
4, 5, and 6? I'm not even
Yeah.
going to pretend to remember or care to look them
Yeah.
up the names.
They're
Well,
okay.
they're okay, yeah. They're all
Yeah.
it's yeah, they're easy
Yeah.
hungover watches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're
you know
not
what I mean?
challenging.
No, they are not. They are not.
My
But it's
favorite zombie film, ooh, depends on the day. But I would probably split it between Shaun of the Dead and
yeah.
Cockneys versus Zombies.
Um,
Ah.
yeah, zombies. Like I was into them quite a bit more than I am now. Walking
Mm.
Dead had a bit of
Yeah.
trauma, a bit of resistance is built. Not just Walking Dead, there was a glut. You know what I'm talking about. That
Yeah.
was pretty much when
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
first got here from about 2010 to 2015.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing but
Shows also like Z
zombies.
Nation,
Yeah. And as
World
actors
War
as
Z.
well, whenever you try to, just, flex your craft, your skills on a short film,
Yep.
8 out of
Zombies.
10 times zombies.
Yep.
For a good
Yeah.
five
Yeah.
years. It's like, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so werewolves, vampires, witches, all the rest are well above zombies, but I don't dislike them because it's still a cool idea and if done well,
Yeah.
it's really good. But they are pretty much near the bottom of the
It's
pile.
easier
I have to,
makeup.
yeah.
The,
Mhm.
the the makeup the
Mhm.
makeup is easier on a budget. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But where do
So
they
yeah.
rank it? Where would they rank in your pantheon in 2025 March?
Which one?
Zombies, in terms of the
Oh,
monsters.
as the monster itself, definitely top
Hmm.
five.
Still top five?
Yeah. Yeah. I like a
Yeah.
good zombie film.
Uh-huh. Okay, just curious because we had touched on that over a year ago, if you remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like the implacable nature of the zombies.
Hmm.
And I like that it gives that room for this, the whole world has gone to shit.
Hmm.
And we're following some survivors, and they might not be the nicest people or the best people, but there are true monsters out there in humans. And we see that in this film as well.
Yeah, we
Without
do.
going into too many spoilers,
Yeah, we do.
there
We
is a
do.
there are some elements of the man as monster as well, which I really liked.
And there's also the family unit, which some good drama came from, which
Yep.
harkens to the 28 films as well, the 28
Yeah,
letter
yeah.
films as well. Yeah, yeah.
So it's called Silent Zone. It'll be released for VOD and DVD very soon. Now, the one thing that I did like about this is if you go and have a look at the cast on IMDb and then you dig down into them, pretty much all of them are at one time or another day players on the Witcher TV series. They're all actors from that same sort of production company. It's shot in the same sort of area that The Witcher was shot in.
Yeah, okay. Speak more to this. Who is behind this production? Where does it come from, etc.? Because, yeah, the ethnicity, because of the accents. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was quite
So the
confused at points,
director
so please clarify.
Yeah, so the director, Peter Deak, hasn't done an awful lot, but has worked with the people from The Witcher. If we look at so the main the writers there, Victor Ksak and Christian Illes. I've probably murdered both of those names.
This wasn't bad. It
Uh,
was pretty good.
Similar sort of thing. Lots of stuff in Eastern Europe. We're talking music videos as well. So a lot of that sort of cinematography came across. The main star over here, Matt DeVere, was in The Martian. He was in Spy. He was in Robin Hood. He was in The Witcher. Now these five projects come up a lot in the cast list.
Okay.
Large number of people throughout the film were in Robin Hood. They were in The Witcher. They were in The Martian. SAS Red Notice is another one. So obviously the production company really likes working with these people.
And a lot of these are very physical based
Yeah.
productions as
Yeah,
projects
yeah,
as well in terms of performance, certainly. So I get that because there's a lot of that in this. What
yeah.
about let's call her the Stray?
Yes. Luca Papp is her name. She is the third actress with that name in IMDb. She was in June Prophecy.
Oh, okay.
Um, she hasn't done an awful lot of work, but Silent Zone is, I think, her first major role, like a role where she is on screen most of the time.
Excellent, excellent. And I will shout
I
her
liked her.
out. No, she um almost carried the film for me. She put in a lot in
Yeah,
terms of performance of character, certainly.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
she
yeah.
put in a lot of work for someone her age, and I could tell she didn't have a huge amount of experience, green,
Mm,
as you would say. But the intent and the conviction was there, and I always, appreciate and
yeah,
respect that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for
But no,
sure,
I
for sure.
certainly liked her. Well done. Yeah.
Yeah, so most of the actors are like Eastern European, or
Hmm.
from around that area. It was, sorry, let me get the production info up. So it's obviously for streaming. It's not going to be for cinema release. I don't know that it had a particularly big budget. It is one of those films where you are going to want to check your brain at the door. Don't think too much about it. The only real trouble I had with it is there are some
Hmm.
opening shots in the film where they're setting up the world where they use some generative AI shots, which I didn't appreciate because, at least, do stock footage or something rather than using generative AI. And there's some dodgy is probably not the right word, some cheap digital special effects throughout. There's a heat effect on when they're walking that's very obviously not the heat effect. About half of the blood shots from when people get shot are really cheaply done blood splatters from like After Effects.
And I mean, I do concur with that. And my another issue is there's definite moment, there's plot holes, to say the
Yeah,
least at times. Yeah.
yeah,
To the point of like, come on, like with the plane, that's all I'll say. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Well, there's plot holes, sorry, with the plane, it's more of logic gaps to the
yeah,
point of don't insult intelligence. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's all I'll
yeah,
say. That's as harsh as I'll get it.
yeah,
But just look, just rewatch things, re-edit, just to take that extra time to,
yeah,
make sure the door's locked and the oven's turned off. It's just
yeah,
things like that because
yeah,
you don't have to, it doesn't have to be, because we are happy to have this and we are very much, we're very
yep,
grateful. Certainly something from the Eastern Bloc we want to promote,
yep,
remote places of the world who want to get their out there, through underground
yeah,
means. We're all about that. I certainly am in my own life, let
yeah,
alone on the podcast. So very happy to have this. The audience isn't dumb. The audience
no,
isn't dumb.
no,
Yeah. And we have to say this if we're going to, put this out there as well. Cross the T's and dot the I's because it doesn't have to be fancy. The young girl
no,
there who I was just talking about, not the best actor in the world by any means, but she just put her heart into it. Yeah. Use her as the example for the rest of the film. Doesn't have to be
yeah,
fancy, but if the heart's in it, because you have a film, a style here that definitely has an audience.
mm,
Yeah, because you're talking about the music video approach
mm,
and the
yep,
movement, the movement of the camera, the kineticness. Some of the fight choreography and the flow of the camera to match it was quite damn slick at times, even though
yeah,
it was quite
it
artificial.
really
I
was.
get it, but
Yeah,
because it was slick and cool and your heart was in it, it was we didn't mind that it was artificial. We were immersed in
yeah,
it. We could let that
yeah,
go. Yeah. And
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
kind of, and we can do that. That's part of the suspension of disbelief and being into movies. But don't
yeah,
put dumb shit and think it's going to be acceptable and we're just going to
yeah,
go, oh, that's okay. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because you're not trying to be Troma here. Yeah.
No,
If you're going to
no,
make
no.
this kind of film, like if you think about Taken, if you think about John Wick,
Mm.
Equalizer, who else? Like, what's another example when you look at your main guy, the muscle guy, the army guy there? What else? What would you throw out?
Well, look, some the Hemsworth films on Netflix, like Extraction, things like
Hmm.
that. The
Taken, if I didn't say
Expendables.
before, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
Taken.
the one thing you can say about them, yeah, they can be fantastical and wild at times,
Mm.
but I would say that they've deserved that though. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it works. So we know what type of
Yeah,
movie this is when we're going in. Just make sure all the elements are there and don't do dumb shit, and it's all good. You've got a movie here. Does that make sense? Bit of a
exactly.
ramble, but yeah, yeah,
No, no, it's all good. Makes
cool.
sense. So yeah, so for those people interested, basically it's a zombie ravaged world. There's a teen and her protector, or what did you call her? The
It's great.
stray and her
Yeah.
protector. Um, Zombies, bad humans. It's been put out by Saban Films, who were originally responsible for the Power Rangers stuff.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I
That
think
makes
another
sense.
group called Finity Productions. I look didn't hate it. I had a good time watching it. It's a romp. It hits the tropes of the zombie films, which I was expecting. There's
Does the
some nice
humor
stuff that I wasn't.
work? Does the humor
Yeah,
like the villain? Let's just say the villain. Um, uh,
yeah. There were elements of the surgeon from Wormwood in his
yeah,
performance and his demeanor, I
yeah,
thought.
yeah. Would it appeal to that sort of audience?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, in Australia, I think it would actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd agree.
So the only heads up, there's gonna be, you're gonna have to like turn your mind off and actually detach
Yeah, yeah,
and remove it out of the room just for
yeah.
not overly. It doesn't wreck the whole thing. I'm not trying to say that
No,
because I don't really know if it knows what it wants to be either
I, I
entirely.
think I think the issue is it's an action horror, not a horror action. I
Yeah,
think
sure. Sure. I think that's
the
it with me. Yeah.
seesaw with the horror action on it was more on the action side than the horror side. While it had that darkness, it was more about that sort of the difference between Alien and Aliens.
Yeah, fair.
Um,
No, absolutely fair. And it's not what I call boring either.
no,
Yeah, it's not what I call
I
boring.
had a good time. I watched it. I enjoyed it. The Pirate Queen said she enjoyed it.
Did you just kind of guffaw at any, I'm just curious. Did you go, oh, come on, at any moments?
Look, there were a couple of moments where I saw what was coming,
Mhm.
and it was because they were trying to put a usual zombie trope into the film.
Okay.
And I saw the lampshading or the telegraphing of it ahead of time. The moment that I mentioned before about the connection to the family, I genuinely didn't see coming. That was really nice.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. All right, my last question, my last critique, and then we'll get positive again.
Sure.
The plane. How did you feel about the plane?
I
Without
the special
saying anything, if you know
the
what I mean.
special effects on the plane were a bit dodgy, the crash in particular.
Yes.
Um, I felt that the plane could have been cut out of the film entirely and it wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah, no, it really wouldn't have. No, because they didn't actually, it was from like here to here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It moved them closer to the goal, that's all, but you can do that with walking.
yeah. And 90 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Not
the film
minute,
goes for
not
two
hour.
hours.
Yeah, 2 hours at this
Yeah.
stage.
It's overly long.
Yeah, yeah. Not disrespectfully. There is a point where it
No.
gets
Yeah.
disrespectful, but
Yeah.
make it easier on yourself. Make it easier on
Yeah.
yourselves. Yeah, focus
Could have
on
been
just.
trimmed.
But thank you and keep making that and keep sending
Yeah.
it to us. Absolutely.
So yes. But look, don't regret watching it. Had a good time. Would like to see more from these people. I mean, we might even get a sequel. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I do like a good
No,
post-apocalypse.
no, please, please, please. I mean, Resident Evil did it. Why
Yeah.
can't you guys?
Yeah. So yes, look, what would you rate this?
Well, I do like a post-apocalypse film myself. I
Hmm.
have liked the idea of the post-apocalypse, the aesthetic more than anything, since I
Yeah.
was a child, actually. I've been a mark for the post-apocalypse for decades now, and
Yeah.
so I certainly did not dislike this. And if you can improve on things, I'm here for it. Absolutely, just
Mm.
less is more is all I'll say. I do recommend it. Just turn your brain off. Definitely at
Yeah.
points, but that's not a diss. That's not a reason not to watch it. That's just it's just advice from a
Yeah.
fan. Yeah. And yeah, no, please send us more. Yeah. And
Do we have a
did you
do we
rate
have
it?
a
Do you
one
rate
out of
what?
five? 1 to 5?
Uh,
What are we rating it?
I'm giving it 2.5. And remember,
Two
that's
and
what
a
I
half.
gave
I'm
Friday the 13th. But yeah, it's a pass. It's a C.
Yeah, that's where I'm
Yeah,
sitting as well. I'm sitting at about
yeah.
a 2.5. It might
Okay.
go up to a 3 depending on how I'm feeling on the day, but yeah, I'm sitting at about a 2.5. Uh, and it only loses points because it's a bit long. The special effects could have used some work, and they probably could have done a better job of hiding the lead up to the tropes.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, yeah.
But
Because
yeah,
yeah,
I enjoyed
no.
it.
Mm. Have fun with the tropes more. Yeah, I
So
think.
we did
Yeah.
zombies before we started talking about the film. So what's your
Mm.
favorite or what's the best post-apocalypse film?
That's a good question. I mean, we are from Queensland, Australia. I was born here, and this is the land that Mad Max was envisioned. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's definitely in the conversation. Uh, you go first. You go first, please.
Okay. Well, yeah, you went first before. I think the best post-apocalypse film is probably Mad Max, otherwise known as The Road Warrior in
That's
the
probably
United
the best
States.
one. Like the first one?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
the
could go
first
with you.
one. Yeah, the
Yeah.
first one. It
Again, it's
hits
that
everything
family
perfectly.
tragedy,
Yeah,
apocalypse, opposing forces. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
drama meets monster, however that
it's
monster is seen.
probably it's probably more sort of peri-apocalypse, like it's the end of society, like the apocalypse is about to
Uh-huh.
start.
Uh-huh.
By the time we get to the second film, it is properly
Yeah,
post-apocalyptic.
yeah,
But we can see that society has fallen apart in the first film to the point where you could probably say it is an apocalypse film.
yeah,
Uh, my
yeah.
favorite post-apocalypse film, my favorite, oh, Love and Monsters, which is also an Australian film, was filmed in Southeast Queensland. It's a Netflix thing. I really enjoyed it. I've even been to one of the locations. One of the locations is
Oh, that was good, was
yeah,
it? I
yeah,
remember this
yeah,
coming out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
The One of the locations is the Queensland Omnibus and Coach Society's basically bus graveyard. It's very cool. And I remember watching the film, going, "I've stood just there where they're shooting." So that was kind of cool. I enjoyed
Good,
it. It's a really good
good,
apocalypse film.
good local representation. I like that. I agree with you that the first Mad Max is definitely the best one.
Mm,
Yes, and it's a tragedy that the latest film flopped
yeah,
at the box office. Yeah,
yeah,
but that's another story. Cargo. Have you seen Cargo from Australia?
yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, with Martin Freeman. That's
Hmm.
again another. I like really sad post-apocalypse films, it seems. They're real tragic horrors there, but it
Yeah,
just lends itself to it, doesn't it? Yeah.
yeah.
This list is weird. It's got things like warm bodies. No, it's not post. That's just post-life, not post-apocalypse. Oh, I guess it is kind
Well,
of no, though, isn't
it's
it?
a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, no, it is. No, you're right. You're right. Because
Yeah.
at the end, Melancholia though. It's got Melancholia. Have you seen that? Lars von
No.
Trier? Yeah, that's more
Oh,
the end
hang on.
of the world is
No.
nigh. That's the end of the world
Yeah.
is nigh, but not
Yeah.
due to an apocalypse. It's due to, let's say, astral means. Yeah, because I
Oh,
don't want to
okay.
spoil things. But oh, it's great. It's beautiful. And Lars von Trier, yeah, yeah, he's a sick weirdo, whatever. But that film is
Mm,
more like Tarkovsky. That's more like Stalker and Mirror. It's
yeah.
much more of a very sad, melancholic, meditative, bleak art film. Yeah,
Yep.
more than a let's shock you. Yeah, yeah. And the acting is superb. So if you want to count that, that's certainly up there. Post-apocalypse, Blade Runner's apocalypse. It's not post,
It's
is it?
dystopian.
It's dystopian, but post-apocalypse, we are talking more in the desert with the haircut, get the gasoline,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sort of
It's
thing.
the tires for
Really,
armor.
that I mean, when we're talking about Silent Zone, um, okay. So I'm going to throw something that you would not expect out. Oh, the road's amazing.
Mm.
Yeah, the road is incredible. Now,
Zombieland.
what is it called? Not Warriors of the Wasteland. That's the book. It's an Italian post-apocalypse film by one of the Italian directors. It's not Warriors of the. Hmm. All right, I'll edit the shit out of this, but I'm going to try and
You know
look
what?
up this film.
Do you know what my first post-apocalypse film was?
Hmm.
Hell Comes to Frogtown with
I've
Rowdy
seen
Roddy
that.
Piper.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out Man Bites Pod, old podcast. We covered that. Yeah, I didn't choose it, of course, because I didn't know it existed
Yeah,
until it was thrown in my lap. Yeah, that's a film. That's definitely a movie.
yeah.
It's hilarious. It's bizarre. It's yeah.
You're thinking about Enzo Castellari for the new Barbarians,
Thank
Warriors
you,
of
the
the
new
Wasteland.
Barbarians. That
Yeah.
shit. Why I choose that? Do you know what that film is? Have you seen it?
I think I did see it back in the day, but I've blocked most of it out. Is it all the
It's,
boobs?
yeah, and I was like 8 when I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was one of the early, somewhere between 8 and 10, 8 to 12, just far too early,
yeah,
far
yeah,
too
yeah.
young. And that just scarred me in just a way that I've always appreciated. So I'm going to go with that one because Mad Max was later, and also I'm a
Yep.
Kiwi. Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't have post-apocalypse films because we have too much green around us. It's hard to really imagine sand.
yeah,
Yeah, let alone an
yeah, yeah.
apocalypse. Um, Yeah, so yeah, it was that one. It was that one because that was the first one that really affected me when I was reading, sorry. I'm just looking at this. I found it, but the cover is just hilarious. It looks like a sword and sandal movie. It looks like the cover of Deathstalker 2 or something. Which I loved as a kid. That was a movie I was
Yeah,
somehow came across and watched. But that was when I was watching things though, like Red Sonja, Kroll, Conan the
yeah.
Barbarian, The Destroyer. I had a sword and sorcery stage
Of
growing up,
course.
absolutely. And when you get to see those things as a kid, because you are watching boobs,
Yeah, oh yeah.
before you're 10, you're far too excited. We're just hanging out now, children, because we've got a big storm coming, you see. And this is quite a nice distracting way to not think about such things. Right. Do you know this book here? Have you ever does this image mean anything to you?
No, I've not seen that one.
Yeah, Douglas Hill is his name, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, I and there was a trilogy of books of post-apocalypse and all that good stuff that comes with it, and I was very much into it. So yeah, I was quite obsessed. So I never mind watching this sort of thing. If you have any more films like this, if this is your jam there, people who
Yep.
sent us Silent Zone, send us more. What is the sword you're trying to hold up here?
The Conan sword.
Ah, the Conan sword. Very nice.
Hmm.
That looks kind of real.
It hasn't got a real edge, but
Okay.
it's
There's a
solid
weight to
metal.
it though. Yeah.
It has a heft.
Yeah, I could see the way you are carrying it and handling it. Nice. Yeah, so I'm gonna go
Yeah,
with
we are
that.
just kind of hanging out, aren't we?
Uh, yeah. So what have you been watching? Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Uh, no, I've been watching Reacher, which I enjoy. Season 3 is out at the moment, where he just
So
kills
you're an
his way
action.
across America.
I mean, yeah, that's the other genre we haven't discussed. And with in regards to Silent Zone, because I like the way you
Oh
did that.
yeah.
Action films, because you like Arnold and Sylvester and Stallone, if I'm not being presumptuous.
I'm more of an Arnie guy than a Sly guy, but I really, really enjoyed Tango and Cash with him and Kurt Russell,
Yeah,
Sylvester Stallone and
you
Kurt
like those
Russell.
80s films. You like
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Commando, The
Yes.
Terminator.
Hmm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Is that your me, not so much. Me, not so much. Surprise, surprise. When I was a kid, I actually, you know how you did with your parents, yeah, where you did certain things, dressing up in certain costumes and making certain phone calls. My way of not being basically coerced into conservatism, because that's mainstream, that's general audience stuff. Let's
Oh
let's
yeah.
call it that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
GA. Yeah. Um, I rallied against that as my form of rebellion against the conservatism I was faced with as a child, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
being like a lot shorter than I am now, and a lot frailer, shall we say, back in
Yeah.
the day, growing up in the 80s and 90s. Um, didn't really tend to like people with muscles who played sports and who thought war and guns were interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
basically the enemies of my kind who were doing soccer because that way we didn't have to do rugby, but we didn't had no interest in soccer either. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You grew up in that time.
The lesser of the two evils.
Yeah, point being, I didn't watch these films because of their childlike mentality. Yeah.
Sure.
And but that sticks with you, as you
Yeah.
know. And you go into adulthood, it sticks with you. But I can't say I dislike action films. That would be ridiculous because I like John Wick's, let's use a very contemporary example.
Yeah.
Big fan. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lore to it, but that's the only sense of substance that it really has. There's a
Yeah.
lot of emoting, but there's no real sense of actual emotion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's yeah, that's fair. But it's very slick. It's very stylish. It's very choreographed. It looks beautiful. And they do tie it all together. I will give them that.
Yeah.
But point being, I'm more of that type. I like Battle Royale. There's
Okay.
another action. That's probably one of my favorite action films, if not my favorite international, shall we say,
Yeah.
favorite action film. Yeah. John Woo
Okay.
has his genius, that whole thing with bullet ballet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Gun
flailing
fu.
trench coats, gun fu. Love all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Army guys with
You,
the makeup, with the stuff and the thing and the in the jungle,
yeah.
not so much. To put it
You
simply,
might
yeah.
enjoy a film called Sisu, Sisu.
Yeah, I know what it is. I am keen on
Okay.
watching that. Yes. Yeah.
Sisu's very good.
Yeah.
My favorite action film of all time is a
Please.
film from 2007. It's called Shoot 'em Up, and it's got Clive Owen
I've heard
and
of
Paul
this.
Giamatti.
I've heard of this. Yeah.
Now, it's effectively a live action Looney Tunes where Clive Owen is playing Bugs Bunny and Paul Giamatti is
Sure.
playing Elmer Fudd.
Sure.
And that's what they decided between the two of them before they started filming that they would play them like they were live action cartoons. And it
I will watch
really
this.
comes
Yeah.
across.
Yeah. No, I
It
will
is
watch
a
this.
dark
Yeah.
film.
Yeah. Um, The Fifth Element, you would say, is a sci-fi action. Yeah.
Yep.
But there are those elements that appeal to me, the production design, the whole look, the
Yeah.
vibe of that
Yeah.
film. Uh yeah, but then I have limits to that though as well. The Raid. Have you seen The Raid?
Yep. So the raid.
I struggled with that because it was pretty much the same note the whole way through till you
Oh,
got to the
over and
top.
over. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And they're just repetitious and I get bored. It
Yeah.
flatlines for me.
I liked it because it showed what people could do, and it's a stuntman
Oh,
film.
a
It's not an action
feat.
film. It's a
It's a
stuntman
fucking
film.
feat. Amazing feat to pull off.
Mm,
Yeah, that no one
highlights have
else
just
can
gone off.
do, America. No one else could do, America. Not that the
So
remake
yes,
was.
no, I enjoyed the raid, but it was basically from a perspective of we're going to do 750 stunts over the course of an hour and a half, and they just did them.
The
Yeah, yeah,
most the film that would actually align itself the most to the expendable criterion shit, yeah, I'll
yep,
say that.
sure.
Is fuck, just had it. Give us a sec. Face Off.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah.
no more
Because that
drugs for that
is
man.
because that's goofy.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous. That's a
actually,
film you could put on the same billing with a Fast and Furious movie
yeah.
easily.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
easily. Yeah, Yeah.
then I might suggest for you, Mr. Popcorn, a little Canadian-German TV show collaboration called Bullet in the Face.
What did you say? Canadian German.
Canadian-German,
I like
Bullet
that.
in the Face. It has the one of the greatest opening theme tunes you will ever see in a TV show. And
Oh,
the
is that
two,
Lance? It's Lance Hendricks. No, it's Eric Roberts.
yeah, so Eric Roberts
Yeah.
and Eddie Izzard play the two warring mafia bosses, and the
Mm-hmm.
police
Mm-hmm.
chief of brutal city, I think it is something like that, decides that she wants to fight fire with fire. So her best cop gets killed, and she takes his face off and puts it on the criminal that killed him,
Oh,
so
great.
that she can use
Great.
him to fight the bad guys.
Yeah, okay. And how do the actors, are they up to dealing
Oh,
with the
well,
switch? Yeah.
we'll see. He's dead. So, but both the cop that dies and the criminal that takes his face off gets a yeah, are played by the same actor.
Hmm. Okay, sorry, same
There's a bit
actor,
of
of course, of
makeup.
course. Yes, yes, yes. How does
Uh,
they deal with the switch?
really, like it's beautifully dealt with in the show.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
only
yeah.
six
You know what I mean.
episodes, but it
Okay.
is one of my
Okay, cool.
favorite TV shows of all time.
Well, you sold me with Eddie Izzard because I'll watch anything. He's a
Yeah.
superb actor. I mean, he's a very good stand-up comedian, yes,
Mm,
but he's a
yeah.
superb actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh
think
yeah.
he's really good. Yeah.
And this was I think they had Eddie for a limited amount of time. They only had Eddie in one set, and they made it so that his character was agoraphobic.
Okay.
So
Okay.
was
This is
too
sounding great.
frightened to
Yep.
go outside.
No, you've
It's
sold me on this. And
it's
yeah.
real. It's really fun.
And what was the other one? The Looney Tune, Clive Owen,
Shoot 'em up.
Shoot 'em Up. Okay. Yeah, I've got it here on the tab. Yeah, cool.
So yeah, Clive Owen, Monica Bellucci, and Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, okay, cool. No, I've heard of that one before. Yeah. And not that I dislike Arnie or Stallone as people.
Mm.
Yeah,
They're better actors.
yeah, yeah. But I get it, and I don't diss the whole thing because it's an institution now.
Mm.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's very much an institution, and I don't want to alienate big chunks of the audience either.
So yes. Well,
Um,
look,
yeah.
I think that's
How,
about us. Yeah.
how long have we done, do you reckon?
Uh, not quite
It's
an hour.
not quite an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be fine. It'll be about 45 minutes. That's perfectly
Yeah.
fine for a movie that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah. So just
Yeah.
to recap, this was for
Yeah,
Silent
please.
Zone, amongst other things.
Yeah.
We thank Walkden Publicity.
Hmm.
Specifically, we're thanking Peter Walkden for reaching out and giving us something to review. We really enjoyed it. It's a fun movie. Seek it out. Um, have a look for it on VOD, coming out from March the 12th. Yep.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Severance is good. Did you see episode 7?
I haven't started watching season
Oh,
2 yet.
oh, Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, no, do.
I want to watch
Yeah.
it all in one go.
Yeah, do. I don't know what you're doing over the weekend. Oh, do you have to work over the weekend with your
I will be
work?
on call. I'll be
You'll
on
be on
call.
call. So you might be on the phone talking people through stuff. I imagine you could
Yeah,
get
yeah.
some calls this weekend,
Getting their
actually.
internet refixed once the storm damage is gone. So yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, yeah,
Oh,
so I'm
actually, with that in mind,
mm,
I'm just going to say this to everyone that's watching. Before you call your ISP, I know that it sounds ridiculous from the IT crowd. When he answered the phone saying, "Hello, IT, have you tried turning it off and on again? Is it plugged in?" That fixes 9.5 out of 10 problems that internet has. I guarantee it. And that other zero point 0.5 out of 10, that's what you need us for. The rest of the time, make sure it's plugged in, your cables are fine, and you've rebooted your router. And don't just flick the switch off and on, flick it off, leave it off for a couple of minutes, flick it back on. That's my rant over.
And also, if the power goes off as well, don't suddenly go around switching back on everything because
Yeah.
everyone in whatever radius
Hmm.
is doing
Yep.
exactly the same thing, and then
Exactly the
boom,
same
power
thing.
goes off again, and you have to wait about another half an hour for it to come back on. Yeah, I've
Yep.
had that happen. Yeah.
100%.
Um, yeah, and yes, now this will come out after, of course. Yes, so hopefully you've all made it through. Yes,
Yes.
and if anyone has lost anything, any regard, I am truly sorry.
Yeah.
And hopefully the world will stop being angry with us at some point soon. We can stop having these things in succession. Because yeah,
Yeah.
because pull your bootstraps up. It gets to the point it gets around your neck.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
joke, of course, but it's yeah. But
Mm.
yes, be safe, everyone, and thank you
Yeah.
to what was his name, Peter from
Yes, Peter Walkden
yeah,
from
absolutely.
Walkden Entertainment or Walkden
Yes.
Publicity.
And yeah, we'll be back soon. There's more stuff
Yeah.
coming out. There always will be. We'll always be here putting out stuff. And at this
Yeah.
point, go check out Baron's really good interview. Beautiful sound as well you got there from the interview at Evil Corp. For Video Nasty, it's a little feature. How do you
Yeah.
say the name of the production company?
Acadian.
Acadian. Thank you.
Acadian.
Acadian Films.
Yeah.
Yes. The film will come out. You will find it video nasty. Don't worry, it will come in the future. But first, just get a taste of it going to listen to the fantastic interview on our YouTube and audio platforms
Yeah.
that the Baron conducted at Splatfest 2024. And congratulations, Cade. Nice work at
Well
Splatfest. Baron,
done.
did you want to touch on that briefly, actually, if you
Actually, it
don't
was a really
mind?
good event. It was a
Yeah,
really good event. It was at
please.
Evil Corp in the Valley. We had music, we had markets, we had film stuff. Um, it burlesque performers, all sorts of things. Like it ran over basically 2.5 days. I
Mhm.
it got to the Sunday night, and I could not keep
You didn't
going. I had
stay for the
no energy
bands or
left.
anything? No. Yeah, that's fair.
So the bands were great. The performers were great. The DJs were excellent. Cade put on a great event. The venue was
Mhm.
perfect for it. Every little problem that cropped up got fixed eventually. But being a first event, it was great. Like,
Of course, yeah. It's
yeah,
yeah, part of the process, definitely. But you reckon for the first time, because these things grow, like very good
yeah.
place to start. Nice kernel,
Oh,
yeah,
for
thrown
sure,
in the
for
bucket.
sure.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
And it will pop, 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 pop. Yeah.
All right. So, well,
uh,
look. Any plugs?
yeah, I'll do a dedicated plug to Little Ipswich Theatre. It's called the Incinerator Theatre. It's in Ipswich. Just Google it. It's got fantastic parking. Condolences. You got to throw that in there, Baron. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah, of
that's a
course. Yeah.
big requirement.
Community
Um,
theater with parking. Oh my God.
mm. Yes, and whilst you wait, there's gardens, there's little parkland, protected, civic parkland around. It's beautiful surroundings. There's nurseries, there's little, yeah, it's fantastic. And the incinerator theatre itself is really cool.
Okay.
Condolences to the popcorn cast who have had to cancel this weekend, and it's pretty much their opening weekend. So condolences
Wow.
there. Don't worry, we'll
Yeah.
come back. And but yeah, check them out. Where I'm in A Perfect Murder, which is coming up after Popcorn in May. It's going
Yep.
really well. Love the script, and that's what drew me to them. Because no offense, anyone, it's not the same 500 scripts that have been done 5,000 times over 500
Sure.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. Their program for the year was very appealing, and it's not that hard to get to Ipswich. And once you're there, you're going to have
Yeah.
much better, a very nice, relaxing time in waiting for the play to come on. And there's a bar there,
Yeah.
like really nice one. Yeah, outdoor seating, patio
Good.
bar. Yeah. Shout out, Little Ipswich Theatre, Baron.
Okay. Look, Act React, Improv Queensland, Evil Corp, IFWG Publishing, and of course, we couldn't say it one more time, Walkden Publicity, for Peter Walkden. They gave us this film to watch.
Yes, 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 and it is fun. It is fun,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And yes, it's time to finish your popcorn, children. So gute Nacht and cuddle up with Poppy. Baron,
Go to bed, children. Go to bed.
Oh, I love it when you're evil. This is me.